Okay, so this video is about how to use the text editor in the WordPress admin console. This is what it looks like. It's called Gutenberg. If I ever call it Gutenberg, you know why. You know what I mean. It's the text editor. It's like using Microsoft Word, only it's a bit different, but it's pretty much the same. So the page we're editing here is about us and then our advisors. When I'm going to do a separate video about editing pages specifically, and another video about editing posts. So you'll find out more about how to access the editor for this page in the editing pages video. But this is the page, and Manon just sent me an email asking me to remove Chris Underhill and replace it with this chap. I can't pronounce his name. I'm going to say Gerion. I'm going to give him a little French twist. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you the Gutenberg editor, text editor, by example of that. So this is the page. You can scroll up and down. Let's find him. Okay. Now each paragraph and each heading. So this is a heading. This is a paragraph. This is another paragraph. Each paragraph and each heading and each image is what's called a block. So when I click on actually, let me show you here. When I click on this image, it will show me it will allow me to move this block around. I can move it down here. I can move it up here. Okay, you have to be it's a bit fiddly that. There we go. I can move it around using this slider here, and these are my options of what I can do with that block. I can left align him. I can right align him. I can center align him. If I center align, the text stops wrapping around the image. So it will show image then text rather than image then text. Let's move him back to center align. I can replace the image with another image. I can make the image a hyperlink to another page. Same with this paragraph, same with this paragraph, same with this paragraph. Here I can make something bold, I can make it italics, I can left align it, I can right align it, I can make this highlighted text a hyperlink. What else can I do? I can do strike through text, I can change the text color. There we go. So that's how the different blocks work. Everything in the editor is a block. So what I'll do is I'll remove this block, 3 dots, remove. In fact, we can highlight them all, I think, if you press Control. Nope. Maybe if we do it like this, if we select it like we're selecting text in a Word document, that's it. Yep, so if I select that, I've highlighted 1, 2, 3 blocks. So now I can delete all those. And I'll select the image block and delete that. Brilliant. So now we've deleted that guy. We've just gone from Mark Bullock straight to Mark Walker. So now what we want to do is enter a new block. We want to enter a new block here. To do that, go to the previous block, put the cursor right at the end and press enter. And that's created a new block for you, believe it or not. And this little button here is saying, what do you want to do? What kind of block do you want? The kinds of blocks that you'll use on a regular basis are heading blocks, which is for headings, paragraph blocks, which is for paragraphs of text, and image blocks, which is for these images. There's loads of other things you can do. I'll just give you some examples. You can add a calendar widget. You could add some social media icons. You can embed a YouTube video. You can embed a Spotify song, a Vimeo video. You can do a lot. You can add a donation form. But most of the things will be up here once you've used it for a little while. If the things you want aren't up here, you can search for them. Paragraph block, heading block, image block. So in this search, you can search for there you go, paragraph or heading. What do we want? We want a heading. Sorry, my video died there. So we clicked heading to create a heading block. If you want to change the type of block, you just click here. So do you want it to make it into a paragraph block, a quote block, a group block, etc. So it's a heading. What is, let's have a look at the email. So it's Gerion Richards. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. So I'm going to copy, Control C, and then I'm going to paste, Control V. When I copy and paste into the Gutenberg Block Editor, it will remove most of the formatting for you. We don't want much formatting in here. I wouldn't make things Times New Roman or change the font or change the font colors or anything like that. The reason being is the front end of the site has something called a style sheet, which will style the content automatically. So it knows to put the headings in that color, unless it's a hyperlink, in which case it will change the color slightly, etc., etc. So let the front end of the site do its job and style your pages. That keeps everything consistent across all the pages, which means it's a lot easier for your users to use the website. So right, so what have we done? We've added a heading block. We can change the size of the heading, like in Microsoft Word. You've got heading 1, 2, 3, 4. Heading 1 is reserved for the page title up at the top here. There, the page title up at the top here. So we'll make it a heading 2 because these are a heading, because the rest are a heading 2. We want to left align it. We don't want it bold or italic. We don't want it to link to anything. Okay, so we're done. So we can start a new block now. And the way to start a new block, if you remember, is to put the cursor at the end of this block and then press return. And now we've got this little dot. And we want to add a paragraph. Either a paragraph or an image, but we'll add the paragraph first. Okay. The text is in an email from Manoj. It's in red here, but it should remove that red formatting when I paste it in. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. So that's our text for him. And the last thing we want to do is add the image. So the image goes, well, it goes besides the paragraph, but we'll add it above the paragraph. So if I go back to the heading and then press enter to create yet another block, I can then add the image block. Right, now when you add an image, you can just upload it directly, but don't do that, because when you add an image, you always take responsibility for placing the image in a folder in the media library to keep things organized. And you should always enter alt text and title text so that anyone who's partially sighted, who's using the site with a screen reader, can use that alt text to know what's inside the image. So whenever you add an image, always click media library instead of upload. There's a separate video on how to use the media library. So I'll just go through this quickly. Firstly, before we upload, which folder inside the media library do we want to put it in? Right, the About Us section. There we go. Select Files. And then it's on my desktop. I've already resized it in Photoshop and compressed the image so it's as small as I can get it, the file size. There's more about that in the media library video. If you don't know how to do that, just upload the image in whatever size you've got. Try and then let us know so that we can go and edit that image and kind of recompress it so that it's the file size is as small as possible, and re-upload it to the site for you. That just helps us look after page load speeds, and it helps Google keep us high in the search engine rankings. So we'll select him, we'll go OK. Right, now it's uploaded the image, and it's automatically placed it in the About Us section. Okay. Once you've uploaded the image, click on it, enter the alt text, enter the title. That's important. For more information, again, the media library video, click select, and now we've got the image in there. Now the image isn't wrapped around the text, and the text isn't wrapped around the image, but all we have to do to make that happen is to left align it or right align it, and then it should wrap around nicely. Okay, so we've got the image in there and we've got the text wrapped around it. Looks good. Next thing worth pointing out is when we click on the image, or when we click on any block, we can edit the properties or the settings for that block in the right hand menu here. So if I change the block, it will change the different settings we can edit. With images, that's quite important because it lets us edit the size. We can make it 200. Bear with me. We can make it 200 by 200. Now, when we click on the other ones, we can see they're all 300 by 300. So let's make this one 300 by 300. So they're consistent across the page. This kind of attention to detail, whilst it might feel fiddly and boring, will make the website look beautiful and worthy of an organization such as ourselves. So editing the image width and height, you can do that there. You can set the alt text, or it will just take the alt text from the image that you loaded in the media library. Right, what have I done there? 300, 300. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that's images. The last thing to mention is down this this right-hand menu. The current block that's selected, there are the settings. But also, if you click the Document tab, these are the settings for the whole page. Now, with pages, as opposed to forum posts, that's not too important. But for forum posts, this document tab is really, really important. So let's just go through the document settings before we save the page. We could preview it here, so if we wanted to save it before putting it live. There we go. Yeah, looks good. So that's not actually live, that's just a preview at the moment. And then when we're ready to put it live, we can click update. But before we do that, let's review the settings. So page attributes, don't need to worry about that. Discussion. If I click allow comments at the bottom, then at the bottom of the page, you'll have an option to enter, like, comment on the article, and then people can comment on those comments, and people can get into have a big group discussion on this article. I'm going to switch comments off for now because it gives people the opportunity to. People tend to be less than polite on online. You get online trolls and things like that, and then you've got the added overhead of administering all the contents and checking them for abusive content and things like that. So for the time being, let's make sure comments are switched off for all of our pages. Featured image, not used so much on pages, but it's really, really, really useful on category posts, on forum posts. The only times we would use featured pages here are for the pages that make up the sections of the home page, but I'll do a separate video about that. Permalink. This lets you choose what the URL of the page should be. So here it's our/advisors. What that means is, under the About Us section, in the URL bar at the top, our/advisors. That's the URL of the page. It's useful to keep that sensible. They're just short, but with the main keywords in, because Google uses these words for part of its SEO keyword rankings stuff. And then this tells you when it was last published, who last published it, and whether it's visible. So we're ready to click update to save that now. And then once it's finished updating, that's done. Now that it's finished, I can refresh this page here on the front end, and we should see that Chris is no longer, and we now have Gillian Edwards. Last thing I'll do, 300 there. Let's get rid of that 300, and let's put a hyperlink in here somewhere so I can show you about hyperlinks. 2016 Rio Paralympic Games. Let's make that a hyperlink. So we're going to lose this 300 and make that a hyperlink, and then we're done. Okay, let's go. So here think it's in the image block. Yeah, it lets you add a comment at the bottom of each image, so you could add a comment. But we're not using comments at the bottom of images unless you want to. So let's just remove that. Right, that's fixed to 300. Now we're going to turn this into a hyperlink. So we highlight the text we want to turn to hyperlink. We click this little link button here, and then it lets us type the URL of the site we want to go to. If it's another page within our website, within the Choice International website, we can just type the name of the page. It will search for it. There we go, contact us. Brilliant. And it will now link through to that other page. But we don't want it to do that. We don't want it to link through to there. We want it to link through to this website. I've already found it, Paralympic.org Rio 2016. So I'll copy that, Control C, paste that in there, Control V. And because we're linking to a different website, we don't, if you click on that link, we don't want to lose our website. We want to open a new tab to show the Rio Paralympic Games website. So to do that, click that little switch there, so we don't lose our place. And then we're done. So now that hyperlink's there, I will save that again, wait for it to finish, say, updating. Done. Then if we reload the page, we should lose 300, and this should be a hyperlink. Yeah, we've lost 300, and now that will open up the Rio Games website in a new tab in my browser. So we've still got the website, and then we've got the new tab. Oh no, it didn't work. Contact us. What's going on there? Let's try that again. Edit. Copy. Paste. Hit return. That's it. Okay, now it's gone blue here. We can see it's been saved properly. My bad. Update. Refresh this page. Now when I click the hyperlink, hey, it's opening a new tab and it's opening the right web page. Fantastic. So again, worth proofreading your changes before you just walk away. Okay, so that's brilliant. That's that done. Oh, there's one last thing I forgot to say. So I'm recording a new video. There is a brilliant blog post, a brilliant website. I'll show you it here at wpbeginner.com. I'll put the link to this in the description on the video. But this is a brilliant user guide for the Gutenberg Block Editor. It's really, really good. It talks you through everything you need to know in really nice little detail. In fact, you only need to read the first part of it, to be honest. But for those that are interested, there's loads in there. Okay, great.